What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Tesla has recently announced their Q3 2019 deliveries. Actually came out yesterday afternoon while I was at the Gigafactory. So in this episode, we're going to run through the numbers, give my thoughts and analysis. So first, let's just look at the data. Here is the press release. Model S and X production, 16,318 units. Deliveries of 17,400. 15% of those subject to lease accounting. Model 3 production of 79,837 cars, deliveries of 79,600, 8% of those subject to lease accounting. Total, we're looking at production of 96,155, deliveries of 97,000. A record quarter for Tesla, more cars than they've ever sold. To me, this is by far the most important metric of the company. You can get lost in a million financial numbers, but how many cars they're selling, is that going up or down? Is that bigger than other auto OEMs? Is going to give you a great sense of how the business is doing. So let's take a look at this data on a visual basis. This is what it was heading into the quarter. They had deliveries of 95,000 units in Q2, which was a record. As you can see, was an extremely impressive quarter. They've actually beaten that now to do 97,000 deliveries, a record. And as you can see, this chart goes back to Q3 2012, which is the beginning of Model S deliveries. Tesla has almost been, almost an exponential curve that you can see with Tesla's growth in vehicles delivered, going from a niche auto just selling 5 or 10,000, 50, 20,000 cars a year to now be selling 100,000 of cars per year, almost soon to cross the 500,000 car per year run rate. So literally this chart is showing that Tesla's rapidly becoming a global major auto OEM, over the past decade. So tremendous growth when you take a step back and look at this over time. If we look at the annual vehicle deliveries, this is what we were heading into, or this is just the historical data up until 2018. As you can see, still seeing that sort of exponential wave and huge growth with the Model 3 starting in 2018. This is what, I think this is interesting for context, because I think people forget how dire the situation was for Tesla after Q1. Everyone was rattled about a horrible Q1 numbers. This was my estimates for full year deliveries after Q1. I was worried about the whole demand cliff. I guess the shorts got into my head and I was like, oh, maybe they'll only deliver 330,000 cars, which is still a record, which still would have been a great year. But anyway, point is, that's way off. Tesla has crushed my original estimates, which had deliveries of like 75,000 in Q2 and like 80,000 in Q3. Those were way too low. So Tesla's actually crushed my own numbers. I've had to revise my 2019 full year estimates to 360,000 units at the low end of Tesla's guidance, which would represent 47% year over year growth from 2018. This is a time when almost every luxury auto OEM is shrinking or declining in sales. The auto market as a whole is sort of going through this transitional period where people switch to Uber and Lyft. Car ownership is less a thing of the past. Despite all of those headwinds, we see Tesla able to grow their unit deliveries 47%. I mean, this is a testament to how good and amazing their product is. I mean, I've been reading in the headlines that Tesla missed their estimates, that Tesla missed. It is embarrassing how poor the coverage is from a financial and business and strategic perspective in the financial media. I mean, companies do not miss estimates. Analysts miss reality. I do not know how to make that more clear. I never care what the analyst thinks. Some analyst, Wall Street, who's trying to make an Excel model to please his boss so that his boss is happy so he can take it to the banking team so they can help Tesla raise more money and get those banking fees. Like, the entire equity research division of an investment bank is just a toy for the investment banking division to raise capital. It's a tool. Like, it's never good research. They're never trying to actually inform investors or the public. They all have a million ulterior motives. I never read analyst reports, and it's just really, really frustrating to see, the media say Tesla has reached peak deliveries in Q2. Everything's going to crumble to 60 or 70,000 cars. I talked to a lot of huge name short sellers whose name I'm not even allowed to say because they're so big. They were expecting 50, 60,000 deliveries this quarter. Tesla comes in at 97. I mean, this proves there is organic demand. This proves that Tesla, the Model 3, with the tax credit going away in the US or getting cut in half, still has demand, still has legs. I think this is a phenomenal quarter for Tesla. If you want to look more into the data, you can go to hypercharts.co/Tesla for the deliveries and financials. Just wanted to pull up a quick chart here. You can see the revenue operating income for Tesla. They only lost 167 million operating income last quarter. We have 2,000 more incremental deliveries. The gross profit from those is going to drop directly to the bottom line. So I think we have a really good shot at actually producing a profitable quarter this in Q3, which would be huge. From a cash flow perspective, production was actually a little bit less than deliveries again this quarter. We had huge positive cash flow last quarter, so I think we're going to have another really strong quarter in terms of cash flow. So, I mean, if you take a step back at Tesla, they've met their guidance that no one thought they could meet. That's huge news. They're on pace to grow deliveries about 47% this year. all good news. They have $5 billion in the bank at the end of Q2. The business looks like it's going to keep pumping out hundreds of millions of free cash flow. They're selling more cars than ever. They're in a more financially healthy place than ever. They're closer to profitability than ever. Now we have the China Gigafactory, which is rumored to be starting production here this month in October, which I think is going to be a catalyst for Q4. My numbers of 360,000 deliveries for the year could actually be a low ball because of this China factory coming online. And man, it's mind-boggling to see the disinformation that gets lost in the media that is obscuring what is the greatest growth story in American capitalism this century. I mean, we're seeing Tesla, since I followed this company in 2012, go from $200 million in revenue to almost $30 billion in revenue this year, and they're going to continue scaling. Yes, this chart looks awesome. They've gone from 3,000 sales in 2012 to 360,000 in 2019, but this is just the beginning. I think they're going to do close to 500,000 sales in 2020 when you have Shanghai coming on and the Model Y. I mean, this growth is not stopping. Tesla continues to put up incredible numbers. Their financials continue to improve. They continue to have the most exciting product pipeline in the entire automotive industry. This growth story is just getting started. I mean, the way the financial media spins Tesla as being in trouble or as hurting or as being in a bad financial position or like having weak sales is a joke. I mean, ask any auto company executive in the world, they would kill for these numbers that Tesla's posting. Like, look at the numbers that Jaguar and Mercedes are posting. It's a joke compared to Tesla. Tesla's eating all of their lunch. This is the narrative that the media is not doing a good job convincing, and it's kind of ridiculous. And so, anyway, that's what it is. My take on the quarter is phenomenal deliveries from Tesla. I think they've really buttoned up production at about this 100,000 per quarter run rate, and they can do deliveries, and they can do it. They figured out how to do it at an almost profitable level, which is extremely impressive given their current rate of growth. We'll know a lot more about this when the Q3 financials get reported and see whether they were actually able to make a profit. So, I'll have a ton more content around that coming up. Anyway, this is Hyperchange. Stay tuned. I still have that in-depth video about my visit to the Tesla Gigafactory coming up. So subscribe. You're not going to want to miss that. Huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, producers, fun in the channel. Thank you so much. And I just want to leave you guys with one more thing. Companies do not miss estimates. Analysts miss reality. See you guys next time.